I went for it. Here we are. We're live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Sunday afternoon. This is not our normal recording time. We're usually here Friday nights. I needed like a mental health night. You know, just like I had a busy week. I've just been stressed all week. I just needed some time to just do nothing. So we moved this week's podcast to Sunday. So here we are doing our thing. It's the Captain's Log, ladies and gentlemen. The Whatnauts Captain's Log number 144, I believe. So welcome to all of that nonsense here.
Welcome,
my name
folks.
is Kyle Springer, and I am joined, as always, by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, what's going on?
Hello, I'm good. I feel fresh. I had a haircut finally for the first time in nearly a year.
Good
New haircut, new lipstick. I'm recharged with social energy. I'm doing well.
Brand new woman.
Yeah, I shedded my old skin. I stepped out in a new skin. Yeah.
That's good. What is the new lipstick the one you have on now?
Yes, it's very pink, but not like
looks nice.
Too pink. It's enough pink, appropriate amount of pink.
It's pink. It's noticeable, but it's still subtle. It's not like bright neon pink or something like that.
Right, which is like
you have on a nice lipstick.
Which is like the other one that I have. I do have super bright neon Barbie Dreamhouse pink, and I wanted a slightly more subtle shade for everyday wear.
The less obnoxious pink for when you want pink, but not as obnoxious. Good stuff. Yeah, I got a haircut. Actually, it's funny. My roommate, who's my barber, so I've been getting haircuts the entire time. He gave me a haircut, and we've slowly been experimenting with things. And so none of this stuff has been noticeable. It is the thing, but we're like slowly starting to have the stuff on the sides be a lot more like skin showing and stuff like that. So I have a nice fade going on there. But he was like, Kyle, I'm slowly more and more just giving you the haircut that I would give a black guy. And I was like, well, it looks good. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's that mixed with like almost Caesar bangs, like almost George Clooney on ER.
I guess I'm not familiar,
but like very, very high up.
Yeah, it's a fade. But yeah, he's just like, I'm slowly turning your haircut into the haircut of a black guy. So there's that. And I was like, that's okay. I'll be back in 2 weeks to ask for a shape up. So
yeah, you can try many looks in the privacy of your own home.
Exactly. But yeah, it feels nice to have a good haircut and to just be like, man, I am looking good. I am feeling good. Things are nice.
Yeah, it's good that I'm fully inoculated now, so I can go out in the world and I always could have gone to a store, I guess, but now I can like go to stores and not feel bad about it, not have this little voice in the back of my head that's like, yeah, you're taking every precaution, but what if you just didn't go to the store at all and bought it online? I'm like, but I like store. I want to look at the thing in person before I get it.
But malls, I can hang out at the mall.
Right. I'm going to have myself like a big mall day coming up soon. Last year, one day in September, I let myself go into the mall long enough to buy one Auntie Anne's pretzel and turn around and leave. And I just picked the Auntie Anne's that was closest to a door. So I only had to walk like 50 feet into the mall and back. So,
quick,
but now I can go.
Where's your nearest Auntie Anne's? I need help. detergents.
The salt will help me. I need the salt. I'm undersalted.
Overworked and undersalted. Good stuff. Good
when
stuff.
you
So
go to an auntie's aunt, no, hold on. Do you go for the salt? Do you go for like the cinnamon sugar, the garlic parmesan, the pizza pretzel? Auntie Anne's has got like a carrot, like a sweet almond one. What's the pretzel of your choice?
So I'm not a huge pretzel fan in general. I don't like them. Every once in a while, they're nice. I especially don't like the like hard ones. I think they're disgusting.
They're entirely separate classes.
If they're chocolate covered, you can pull my leg, and I'll just be like, all right, fine. The bigger, softer ones I'm okay with. I don't like the saltier stuff. So I do like that like cinnamon sugar stuff like that. But believe it or not, I have not actually been to or made a purchase at an Auntie Anne's or a Cinnabon or stuff like that. I've always just been like, I'm fine.
You're not a mall snacker.
Not a mall snacker, no.
Do you sit down for a meal in a food court? Do you like yourself a Panda Express or a Sbarro's?
I will do that. I will get some like cheap greasy pizza or like some Chinese something there that I know is probably not good for me, but hey, it's what I grew up on. So
yeah, you do so much walking at a mall, you know, it'll balance out eventually,
right? Exactly. But yeah, have you started to make plans of like, this next week or this next month, like I want to go out and do this one thing, or have you started to think about that yet?
Yesterday I had my hair cut and I went over to a friend of the show, Jack's house for like 6 hours. I don't know. I'm eventually going to have like a night with my family. Like I haven't seen my brothers and my nephew in person hardly at all. We want to get together, maybe have like a bonfire in my older brother's backyard.
Nice. I don't know. You guys going to do like a family potluck? Just like, hey, let's all bring food and just chow down.
I don't know. I want to make a charcuterie board. I want somebody to let me make that. Have I talked about this before? How much I'm into shark boards?
No one is stopping you from making a charcuterie board. There's no one that is out there being like, Melissa, no.
No, but like it's a food for multiple people. It is a party platter. So this past year I've been fascinated with them, and it's like I'm not going to go through all that effort to make something only I will eat. And then what am I going to do? Just plastic wrap the whole thing and stick it back in the fridge?
Did you see that TikTok where the girlfriend, or I mean, it's you can find it like on Twitter and stuff like that too. But there was a video going around of this girl who just completely ruined her boyfriend's day by explaining that Lunchables are just charcuterie boards for children.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm just, no.
I guess in the very basic concept that it is meat, cheese, cracker. But the joy of a charcuterie board is like, you have options. There's several of each.
Mustards.
It's artfully arranged. It comes with jam or like a honeycomb or like glazed nuts or something. It's higher end. Like this isn't just Oscar Mayer salami. I had to buy it from the actual deli case. It's boar's head at the least.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think for me, the main thing I want to do is go out to my comic book store.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, because I got my comics this past week. Actually, there's something I'll show you in just a bit that I got. But I got my comics this week. I emailed them. They paid for all the stuff, and then they delivered it to me as they have been for the past year-ish now.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them what their policy was on masks and all of that stuff. And they let me know. And then every Saturday, they send in email to let their subscribers know, like, hey, here's all of the stuff that's out this week. Here's all the stuff that's coming down the road. Let us know so we can pre-order this stuff for you, so we know kind of how much we should get. And one of the things they mentioned in there was, it's about time to start sunsetting their delivery service, because that's been a lot of extra work. It's what they needed to do to survive, but vaccines are up here in America. That's been happening a lot. So probably time to start, in the next couple weeks here, being like, okay, no more local deliveries. But that was like the thing of like, next time I need to go get comics, it'll probably have to be like a Saturday, and just be like, I'm just gonna take the Saturday to go downtown and get my comics and all that stuff, and it's gonna be great.
Nice.
That's been the challenge with this, is like, I'm asking if they have certain things, and they'll be like, yes, we have this thing, we'll add that to your thing, your total is now this much. But if they don't have it, it's like, well, can't really see what else you have in the shop right now. So it's like, do you have this? Do you have that? And they'll be like, yes, no, yes, no, yes. So then I'd be like, all right, we get that and that. But that has been a challenge, because there's also been some challenges with DC Comics distributing stuff. They've changed up distributors and stuff like that. So it's there's been some shakeups because of the pandemic, and it's been a little bit challenging to get all that stuff squared away. But I'm excited to get back to my comic book store and just be like, I can actually look at these books and see what they have, and
hold a book in my hands.
Right? Yeah, exactly, and see if I actually want it before buying it.
Yeah, just reach out and touch that Superman cardboard cutout.
Exactly.
Just caress his pectorals.
Yeah, it's like, Superman.
You're still here for me.
It's the scene from Captain America where Peggy is just like, So this past week, one of the things that I bought from my comic book store is something we've actually covered before on the review show that I had not bought yet. And I got the Hip Hop Family Tree Volume 1.
Nice. Nice and big.
Yeah, it's a big boy here. It is larger than your normal comic. It says it's the Fantagraphics Treasury edition. Yeah, it's like 13 to 14 inches tall. It's a big one. It does not fit on any of my bookshelves.
Oh no.
So I just like have it on top right now, but I
do you just have to get an
like
easel,
a display stand? Yeah, like a book thing, so I can put them all there. But this book is so cool. Like we read it because Volume 1 and I believe Volume 2 is on Comixology Unlimited. And I know digitally it also makes it look like the paper is older, right? It's an older comic book, but this book does the same thing. Like it's printed on nicer quality paper, but it has this like nice like brownish yellowish tone to it. And you can't really see it on camera, but I can't tell if it's printed with it on there. It looks like it is the paper, but it has this like nice pulpy texture to it. So yeah, it's a neat book.
Awesome. It's a good one to own. It's a nice display piece.
Yeah, exactly. So hoping to get a stand for that one soon.
Mm-hmm.
But that is what I bought recently, along with the next volume of Full Metal Alchemist. The nice hardback ones that I've been collecting. So those are cool.
Yeah.
Man, this week has been a whirlwind of a week. What do you do when you've had like a really stressful week and like me, I needed to be like, I just need a night, I just need a day. Do you have like personal rules? I don't know the best way to put that, but just like, do you have a thing that like you do when it's like you need just like some time for yourself, or similarly, like when you start to feel sick, like are you someone that like are you someone that like works through it, or are you someone who's like, I'm just gonna take the day to rest so that I can like nip it in the bud?
I don't know. I feel like I should. Sometimes I take nights off, particularly if I'm like I'm getting ready for something. Like, I think the night before I went to see Endgame, I was like, I have to be ready. I'm just going to lay quietly at home and like
emotionally prepare yourself.
Yeah, reserve everything that I am. But then I had like work friends invite me out for drinks, and I'm like, okay, I'll go for like an hour. Like, I was feeling fine. You know, all I had to do the next day was like, well, we have brunch plans. We're going to drive around and our tickets are at this time. But like, I wanted to be ready. I wanted to be like all of every fuel that's in me is like topped off. I'm not depleted in any way. Oh, or I'll like take a night in if it is like, I don't think this is allergies. I might have a cold. I don't know. But other times I'm like, no, I have things to do. I have to do the things. Otherwise, what am I?
Yeah. I'm not someone who usually like gets very sick. And if I do get sick, it's usually like a 24-hour thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always very much been someone at like the first sign of like, I think I'm getting sick, to just be like, you know what, let me just like go home and let me just rest, because I know if I don't and I keep pushing myself, it will turn into something.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been like, I've been a very, very big like advocate for like, the second you know, just go home, just relax, and you'll usually end up fine. So that's what I did. That's what I had to do. I just had a busy week. It was a productive week, but it was one that was just like, I need to take the night to like not push myself stuff there. So
not sit at the computer and talk for an hour and a half.
Right. Yeah. I mean, which is not that like physically demanding or taxing, but it's just like,
no, I'm with you. I just sympathize.
Yeah, it's just like, I need to just be a vegetable. Like, let me go do nothing.
There are times when it's like, oh, okay. Like today I was like, I stayed out late last night. I was super tired and I had 2 podcasts to do today, but I'm like, you sit there and you talk. Like that's nothing.
Right.
Even if you've got like real minimal energy levels, you can figure out how to turn that into just keep your mouth moving for a while. It doesn't matter what you say.
Indeed.
Just move it.
Indeed.
Look like you're a professional.
Which, I mean, is the strange thing about these podcasts too, is like they are oddly refreshing and like recharging. Like there has been times where I've come on the podcast just like mentally exhausted, or like not really in the mood to people. Like I don't want to deal with talking to another person, but then I'm on here and I'm just like, you know what, this is actually really fun, and like I enjoy this. And they have been this like, I'm looking forward to doing this thing and seeing how Melissa's week has been and stuff like that. So
my Friday was weird. So on top of you texting me saying, hey, can we move Captain's Log to later in the week? One of our major pieces of software was down at work. So yeah, that like, I don't know, like we've got our email program, and then we run our journals on 2 different sites, and one of those 2 sites was down. And I've got my journals like split 50-50 approximately between the 2 sites. So like by noon, it's like I did everything I could do without that other site back up yet. And like there was a message saying, hey, we have like unplanned maintenance. Sorry, it'll be back up by noon. It'll be back up by 3.
Oh man.
It'll be back up by 5. So I like clocked out at noon, like, I'll come back at 3, I guess, and see if it's back up. And then my manager texted me like, they just pushed it to 5, everybody. Like, you guys can just call it a day. It's fine. You don't have to finish work that you would only be able to start working on at 5 p.m. So like I wound up having like a weird free Friday where I was done with everything by noon. I had to have lunch with my mom. I got to take my recycling to the recycling center. Yeah. Get some exercise in. I spent the night, instead of doing a podcast, I got to watch a podcast live stream. So I spent the night with Hey Riddle Riddle again.
Cool.
I got to experience theater on Friday, a glimpse of theater for the first time in forever. A glimpse of theater. When I was taking my recycling to the recycling center, on that same block is a performing arts center. And I'm driving past it, and it's got this big, like, outdoor patio space. It looks really nice. And they were doing some, like, kid-friendly production of The Very Hungry Caterpillar. The Very Hungry Caterpillar takes the stage. The Very Hungry Caterpillar, the theatrical experience.
Kid-friendly?
No, I mean, like it's not like
parody of The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah, it's not like The Very Hungry Caterpillar, the erotic thriller. But you know, it's like this is clearly a play, like it's made to be like a little kid's one of their first theatrical experiences with anything. Like it's outside. They're probably, you know, sitting on a mat on the ground. They can get up and scamper around.
To go see
and they're
Gullah Island live. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just saw it as I was driving past, and all I could see was like some college kid in a polo shirt with like a sandwich board over him indicating he's an apple. I'm like, theater, that's a costume. It's a live performance. He's an apple. He's an actor portraying the role of apple. So for like 3 seconds, I got to see theater, and it's really given me a boost.
There you go. That should be something that I go do this year, because I remember talking about that a while back. I think on the podcast here that I used to every so often like walk by this like local theater house, and I would just see that they, you know, were making stuff, and I've never been inside. I don't know anything about it, like, but that has always been just like I've never, like, of my own volition gone to see a play. I've seen a couple, but it was never because like I decided that that's what I was going to go do. It was like, well, I went with my mom because my mom had to drag me around, or I like our like youth group had someone that was acting in one, so we went to go support them or something. But yeah,
theater's good. And as a university employee, you could probably get into a university production for free or cheap. So you got an in right there.
I used to live, I think it was, I don't remember if it was only music. No, because it was the Performing Arts Center. We called it the PAC building. Yeah, like I used to live literally like right next door to it, where it was like a concert hall / stage for like, hey, they're putting on Macbeth. Here it is. Go see it, kids. And just never went, never checked it out and all that stuff. So I don't know.
You should do it.
But one of these
Theater's
days,
an important goal.
One of these days.
So lately, switching to a different type of theater, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about home theater setups.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
and
the
a
great
lot of the
theater
technical
of YouTube.
A lot of the technical stuff goes over my head.
In theater mode.
I mean, I'm watching it on my TV where it's as big as the TV, so yes,
okay, so
by default.
Full screen on that. All right.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to make it not theater mode on your television.
I mean, if you're using the browser on a smart TV instead of the YouTube app, and then I don't know.
Who would? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the technical specs of home theater stuff goes way over my head. Like, I'm not a technical nerd about it. I watch it mostly for like the theming and the room design. I'm like, yeah, it's just like projector or big TV and like big speakers. And like, that's like, I know that the technology is there, but I'm not picky about what it is.
I gotcha.
I want to see everything else that's going into your home theater setup. Just dreaming big about them. And I wanted to ask you, there's two main variants for home theaters. It's either super big, cushy, like cuddle couch, or a series of like movie theater intense personalized recliners that can contort into a variety of shapes. Which side do you fall on?
Ooh, I think I think by default I would go couch. But
yeah,
I think I'd prefer a hybrid, to be honest. Like I want the best of both worlds there. Like, what if you do like a love seat and then two individual chairs on the sides, right?
This is what I'm also thinking. I'm pro couch. I want the big cuddle couch where I can lay down. But then I thought about my parents, putting this into real life. It's like, well, by the time I'm able to get like a home theater, like my parents are doing good, but like they're gonna get to the age where I can't ask them to like come sit down on a 4-foot deep couch. So like I have to have at least two recliners for my aging parents to sit in, in easily and comfortably. So yeah, that I think that is you got to get both.
That or I would do the like tiered system where there's like 2 or 3 of like single recliners like in the front row, and then there's like a back row behind them that's a little bit lifted up, and there's a couch on that one. I think that like stadium skating style thing would be neat too.
Right, you gotta have levels.
That would be my dream of like, let's do it like a multi-level seating here in my home theater.
Right.
That'd be fun. That's what I don't know if I would do a projector though.
Oh yeah, like that's something I don't have a preference on, and it's something I know I can't really figure out until I know in real life what space I would be making into a home theater.
Yeah, the thing is like projectors, if I would want like the top of the line like 4K something, but I know the 4K projectors are usually real expensive. Like it's cheaper to just get a giant 4K TV or something than it is like a 4K projector. So I think I would just go with a really stupidly large TV. Like, let me get like a 120 inch.
Oh my god!
How great would that be, though?
Yeah, you got to go 60 at the minimum. Aim for at least a 72.
Go big or go home?
120.
No, go big at home.
That's the goal. What else do you want in a home theater? Do you want like the LED light strips? Do you want the starlight ceiling? What posters would you put in there? Would you also have like snack bar, shelves for like collectibles and things?
Gotcha. I gotcha. I definitely would want the like neon lights, especially if I do have a giant TV. I want the lights behind it shining on
Yeah.
the wall and stuff like that. Yeah, just a few more like ambient neon lights that can. I mean, like you guys can see here that I have behind me here that I can change colors and dim them and stuff like that. But I think for like more casual stuff, I would keep the light on behind the TV, right? And just have that ambient stuff like that. But if I'm like legitimately watching a movie, like if I'm getting to see Marvel's Black Widow in my home theater, I want all the lights off. I want my focus only on that screen. So I don't know, but I think posters. Do I want posters on the wall? Because see, that's the thing. Like, as much as I like all of the stuff that I have behind me to like make up my little podcast set here, I think there's something just kind of nice about like a white wall with those splashes of color from the like neon lights there. Like, I like that simplicity of that. But let's see. All right. So if I had to pick out 4 posters, let's say 4. Let's go down that road there. I think I would have to have the 2 that I have behind me: Batman Mask of the Phantasm and Akira. Then I would need some live action stuff. I feel like I have to like mix it up. I don't know. I feel like I would go with I don't necessarily want to go with the bigger popular stuff. I want to go with stuff that is like real solid and is real popular, but is more of a like, oh, you're into film. Like you right? Like you like this stuff. Yeah.
You want to impress somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, okay, shit. You know what you have taste. I see.
You've seen more movies than Jaws and The Godfather.
Right? Yeah. Like I don't want a Godfather poster. I don't want a Scarface poster. I don't want right. Like I don't think I would put a Marvel poster in there. That would maybe be more for like my podcast set or my room or something like that. But I don't know, something like Parasite would be a nice one to have in there, especially if it was like the Korean poster, like if they have like a Korean version, which I'm sure they do. I think something like that would be neat. Yeah, or like shit, what was the time travel movie Primer? Something like that.
Right? So this is like, so you're not going for like the movies you love the most or the posters you love the most. You're like, what are these underground films?
Taste?
Right, yeah, I want street cred more than I want anything else.
Movie poster street cred, that's what I want.
When you said the time travel movie, I was thinking of Looper, and no, you went more obscure than that. Most people have at least heard of Looper. They know that there's a movie where Joseph Gordon-Levitt turns into Bruce Willis, but what if there's a movie where where 2 anonymous guys in ties keep turning into more of the same anonymous guys in ties?
Yeah, exactly. And then one of them maybe escapes and starts building a new time machine in South America? I don't know. Yeah. I would want stuff like that. What? I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I want posters that really do mean something to me. Like, I love the movies, or at least like the movies decently. Like, I think the Back to the Future poster is so good. I like Back to the Future quite a bit. It's not in my like top 10 or anything, but with a poster that good, like, I'd like it to be there.
Certain classics that's just like, oh,
yeah.
Back to the Future one is a great one to have.
Mm.
That would be a
yeah.
good one.
I do love. I love a dense, lush poster. Like, as much as I appreciate minimalist design, if it's something that's like I want to decorate my home, I want a real maximalist home where, like, the more you look at it, you keep noticing new things. I want a home like an I Spy book.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or like in the show Hannibal, where there's just so like the backgrounds just have these lush patterns, and there's so much stuff. It's just like, what is this?
Mm-hmm. So I'd want elaborate posters. Like, I'd love the one for like Infinity War or Endgame. Ragnarok's got a good poster too. I want at least one poster that has like it's everyone in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
We crammed 23 people onto one poster. I want some of those. I don't know. I like the poster for Grand Budapest Hotel, just that pretty pink hotel. I'm looking at a ranking every MCU movie poster list right now on Screen Rant.
Ooh,
Black Panther's only at 13. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That's a beautiful poster. I got to get my Guardians in there. Maybe even in addition to just Infinity War, which they're also in.
Like that. We should find another long-running series and like rank the movie posters or the like DVD covers.
You know what? I've
like,
really been
like we're about to rank the Land Before Time DVD covers, like just some like stupid obscure thing like that.
What I would actually love, I've been thinking about this a lot, to rank the MCU end credit sequences.
Okay, yeah.
I have a lot of opinions about this.
Good stuff. That's a possibility. That'd be fun.
Yeah, like I think if I had a home theater, I would probably keep the wall that the screen or projector bit is on, the wall you're looking at for where the movie lives. I think I would keep that plain, maybe just with colored lights. But like the walls on the side, like here's my shelves, my DVD collections, here's some posters.
Yeah.
Here's the candy basket. This is where the popcorn lives.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a mini fridge. I want a deep, intense home theater. That's a real goal. Like I really like interior design, and I look at so many beautiful living rooms, but like there's not a TV in them, and so I don't know what else you're doing in that room.
Living.
I like to live with a TV around it. I want to find more TV positive home decor, interior design profiles.
So here's something that I don't think you see very often unless someone in the relationship is definitely a gamer, myself included. I want to be a 2 TV living room.
You've told me about this.
Yes. I want 2 TVs in my living room, and not like here's the main one and there's like a smaller one off to the side. Like I want 2 gigantic ones there. Because if I'm playing a video game or something and my partner wants to watch Bob's Burgers or something, I want them to be able to do that. Or if like I'm watching something and they want to play something else or do something, they can do that. Or if I need to put headphones on, or you know, that way we're not like bothering each other with that, and we can still be together but doing our own thing. So that's what I want. That doesn't even have to be in like my home theater, but just like that's the bougie lifestyle that I want. 2 TVs in the living room.
I do like the idea of watching 2 completely different movies right next to each other. That's an experience I think about a lot. I wish I had room to do that. My TV is in a corner. Like I put it in the corner facing out at the room diagonally, so then I can see it from the couch and from over at the dining table. Like I positioned it in the place where like the most of the apartment could watch the TV. So like I can't really put one next to it. That would mess with the spatial reasoning of the whole thing. But someday, I like two TVs. I don't think I do it every day, but I would have like another TV I could wheel out for parties, and I just have two movie nights. It's not a double. Well, it's a double feature, but we're watching both of them at once. It's a simultaneous double feature.
You have the TV that you whale out when it's like the end of the year at school. It's like, all right, guys, we're just watching Bill Nye on.
I would love one of those. I really want to get a VCR and some old movies on tape and just have a 90s movie night, like a movie night like somebody would have in the 90s. So like I've got a movie of the time. I'm watching it on a VCR, on a tape, and I want to eat 90s snacks, but 90s adult snacks, though. And I'll have to think back on what this actually was, because like I don't want like the Dunkaroos or the Fruit by the Foot. I want what a 30-year-old bachelorette would have eaten in like 1998. Not that she couldn't have also eaten Dunkaroos and Fruit by the Foot, but like,
interesting.
You know, if you're like some classy adult friends having, well, I know you'd be drinking wine coolers. You'd be drinking Bartles and James. Like the beverages I've got, but I don't know what adult snack foods adults ate in the 90s. Like something classier than the 3D Dorito.
Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know if anything is coming to mind. My first thought went to, well, what were the snacks in the 80s then? Like when they were younger, like what would they have eaten then that they would have had the nostalgia for to bring back for like that? Like, let's just have snacks, right?
No, like I wanted to remember these things. Contemporary, cosmopolitan, like adult late 90s foods.
Right, yeah. I feel like homemade bagel bites, except it's just like bagel pizza would be there. So
maybe one of those Viennetta cakes that's like a fancy Italian ice cream loaf that you cut into.
I mean, maybe something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Who knows?
I'll have to look back on this. I'll have to find like an episode of some Food Network show from 1998 and see what they were making.
There you go. Melissa, speaking of home theaters and stuff like that, we are about to get into Kyle's Cinema Corner, a.k.a. The Cinema is His Bed. But first, let's take a quick break for housekeeping.
Oh.
We put a lot of hard work into the shows that we make, and yes, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and we'd love it if you would check them all out. You can find out more information on our websites at thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in the Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. If you want to support what we do here at The Whatnauts, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is the best place to do that. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can get all kinds of exclusive content at our $3 tier, and you can get a shout out and thank you on all of our shows at the $5 tier. You can support us on Twitch by subscribing to our channel at twitch.tv/thewhatnauts, and we would love to have you all join us for our live streams and talk with us in the chat. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a sweatshirt or a mug or something else, head over to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. And we are back. Big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier and above. So thank you, Sam, so much for helping us out and supporting. We appreciate you a lot. But yeah, that is about it for housekeeping. So Melissa, are you ready for Kyle's Cinema Corner, aka The Cinema is His Bed?
Yes. Please tell me your findings on the Sopranos series finale.
Yeah, so last week I had not finished it yet. I had not I was disappointed by the show and was like, well, I don't know how this ending is really gonna do. I was just like, I don't know what it's good, because I had managed to stay spoiler free, so I didn't know how the show ended. And it was interesting because I thought I had 5 left, but I ended up only having 2 left. So it came a lot faster than I was expecting, which didn't help my disappointment in the ending. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess spoiler alert for the way the Sopranos ends if you don't want to deal with that. But it just ends. Like there is no ending. It just it's the scene. They're at this restaurant. The family agreed to meet up and eat some food and stuff there. And Tony is sitting there by himself waiting for the family, and he seems on edge. He seems like he's looking around for something. At first, you assume it's his family, and his wife shows up, but he's still kind of looking around. And then he's looking at other people, and it builds that tension of are one of these motherfuckers in this restaurant about to make an attempt on his life in this thing? And they're just having normal conversation and stuff like that. So it builds this tension so well. And then his son shows up, but he shows up behind this guy who ends up sitting at the bar, who then eventually stands up and walks towards the table. You're like, oh shit, here it is. But then he goes off to the bathroom. And then meanwhile, outside the restaurant, his daughter is trying to parallel park and is just having the worst time. Aww. Just can't do it, has to go back and forth in and out. And so that is building tension too. Is it gonna happen and she'll be outside and won't know, and oh my god, this is gonna be awful. And she finally parks, crosses the street and opens the door, and it ends. That's it.
And they're playing Journey's Don't Stop Believing the entire time.
Right. Yeah. So you're expecting something to happen. You're expecting that this is going to be you're expecting something else is going to happen there, and nothing does. And it's just nah.
So it is infuriating in context.
It's infuriating. Well, at least for me, yes.
Okay.
Because I was I'm looking back on this show, having heard people say oh, this is one of the best TV shows of all time. If you like crime shows, check this out, all of that stuff. So I went in knowing that there was hype. I don't feel like I had hyped it up for myself, but I was curious as to what this was. And it ended up being disappointing because it was more of a slice of life. It was still a good show, but it was I was just expecting more. Which is kind of what I mentioned, and then the ending just mirrors that exactly. Of just I was expecting something more.
It's just life, and then it stops. I knew about that ending when it happened. I've never seen The Sopranos. I think I know what the opening credits look like, and I've seen that final scene on, I don't know, Best Week Ever or something. I forget how I learned about it whenever this came out in 2007, 2008, 9, maybe. I remember that my senior year in high school, I wrote a TV column for the school paper called What Would Wilkinson Watch? And And like in my final column, I don't remember what, like I was talking about like finales over the last year. I don't remember what it was, but I wanted there to be a joke about that. Again, a thing that I had only seen out of context and I had no idea how to take it. I just thought it was hysterical that that happened at all. Like I had no stakes in The Sopranos, so if it was disappointing, I wasn't disappointed. I was happy to just hear of something that wacky happening in prestige television. And also kind of admiring how bold it is. Like, does Tony Soprano die? I don't know. I leave that up to you to wonder about. Who am I to decide his fate?
And it's not even like the Inception and ending where it's like, did that top wobble a little bit? Didn't you see it wobble? I don't know. Like it just stops.
What if instead of the movie being named Inception, the movie was named Top-Wobblers?
That has to be the name of like the knockoff film. Like you've seen Transformers to like Transmorphers, right? But instead of Inception, it's Top-Wobblers.
These are the movie posters I want in my home theater. It's all the movie posters, but instead they have joke titles.
Yeah.
Top-Wobblers.
Weird.
But I wrote in something in my column for the paper. I was talking about the series finale of The Sopranos, and I just stopped the sentence. And I'm like, yeah, and after its great run of 6 years, the finale of The Sopranos was... That was intentional. That was my joke. I thought I was a genius. And then the copy editor, another 18-year-old is like, it was Daniel Torrington, I think. It was Daniel Torrington, that kid I made that mix CD for. Right.
Yes.
I think he was the paper's copy editor, if I'm remembering correctly. If not, I'm sorry to blame you, Daniel Torrington. But whoever was the copy editor just didn't understand and thought it was a typo. Like I and they just removed that sentence entirely from my column. And I was very disappointed, trying to impress other 18-year-olds. Like with you saying you'd have a poster of Primer. Like, let me show them how much I know about weird TV ephemera.
Yeah. That's good. That should have been a moment of like, look, if I have to explain it, you obviously haven't seen this show. Just trust me on this. Just like, let me have this. Let me have this moment here.
I think I handed it in and nobody even asked me about it. I think whoever looked at it was like, oh, the sentence wasn't finished. I'll just take that out for her.
Yeah.
I don't think they realized there was a joke they were missing.
Yeah. That's funny. So besides that, I've actually been binge watching a ton of shows.
Yeah, you have several other things written down.
I went on like TV binge watch. Didn't really play many video games this week, as I mentioned, on crossplay and stuff like that. It's just like I've been nonstop watching TV. So to kind of go along with Hip Hop Family Tree, the next show that I watched after The Sopranos was Wu-Tang: An American Saga.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Hulu original show. And it was like season 1 is 10 episodes, I believe. Yeah. I'm hoping they get to make a season 2. They put this out shortly before the pandemic, so I'm sure they've had to delay filming of season 2 or something. But it is like, I don't know exactly how accurate it is, but it's an accurate fictionalized like retelling of how the Wu-Tang Clan came together and stuff like that. And it's pretty interesting because they like you'll see. So the main character that it follows ends up being the Reza, who ended up producing this show, and so like you follow him and his career as he's starting to mastermind this whole thing. But before he was they haven't really come up with the Wu-Tang. Like there aren't the Wu-Tang yet. They haven't mentioned it. They've mentioned Wu-Tang, but not in reference to themselves as a group. Like they haven't introduced all of the characters yet in season 1 or all of the members of Wu-Tang. Like they're still meeting them and stuff. But you get to see their like early interactions with the music industry. And there's like an episode or 2 in there where he ends up getting this music video for one of his songs and has to make this whole thing. And it's a mess. It didn't turn out super well. He wasn't super happy with it and all of that stuff. But then during the credits of that one where they filmed the music video, they show the actual music video that they made, and it's just like, man, this is like this is exactly it. This is wild. So that was a lot of fun to watch that, because I like shows like that where it's like, here's like a retelling of how like hip hop got started, or like how the Wu-Tang Clan came together and stuff like that, which is why I liked Hip Hop Family Tree so much. So
nice.
Yeah, but that was good. After that, I watched a show called Devs. Have you heard of Melissa?
I have heard of this. Yeah, it's been recommended to me before.
Yeah, it's a hard sci-fi show. It's very slow. It's not action packed and stuff like that. But man, if you like really, I don't even know if I would say cerebral, but just thought provoking sci-fi. Like, it's not complicated to follow, but it is one that makes you think. I guess the setup for the show is that Devs is the name of this like top secret division of this tech company, that the CEO of the tech company is played by Nick Offerman. So it's interesting to see him in like a non-comedic role, and he does phenomenal. Yeah. And they have this like top secret thing that they are working on, and there is this guy that gets like inducted into that section. He had been doing some great work for the company, so they were like, hey, we want you to be a part of Devs. And he goes in and he sees what they're working on. He looks at the code and he freaks out. He starts vomiting. He just immediately is just like, what the fuck?
So this is like cosmic horror code? Like the code is so grand it breaks your head?
Well, it's not that the code did this to him, but it's once he realizes like what it is that they're working on, which when you see him freak out, you still don't know. You're just like, whatever it is that he saw, he does not like this. And he tries to run away, and they murder him. They kill him. And so the story then follows the girlfriend who has been told that it was suicide, but it was not. We know that it was not. And she is suspecting foul play and stuff like that. So there is this like murder mystery going on in there with that, as well as the mystery is like, what are they working on exactly and why? And yeah, it's really good. It's nice. By I don't remember his name now. The same guy that did Ex Machina and Annihilation. Yes. Alex Alex Garland is his name.
Yes. Okay. Right. Where did you watch this?
so-
Is this Hulu?
It's on Hulu. Yeah, it's
Okay.
all on Hulu.
I might check
it's
it
only
out
one
after.
season. It's a mini series, so like
Okay.
it is that like one and done. But yeah, it was really good.
I would like to watch another tech drama after all of Mr. Robot and Halt and Catch Fire. I know it's different, but
I would
like
put it in the same category.
It's as close as I could get until somebody makes another one of those.
Yeah, it is more like Annihilation, where it's just like they go to this and like weird things start happening and someone turns into flowers.
Love weird things.
Right? Like, which is what happens in Annihilation.
I was gonna say I don't think that's a very specific trick to pull twice. Someone just turns into flowers.
But it is it's not the like we're hacking in the system. Here we go. But yeah, it's definitely on another level for sci-fi stuff, and it is beautiful. Like it is shot
I like pretty
so
things.
Well. Yeah, it
nice.
is very pretty. That's for sure. So
okay.
So there you go with that. After devs, we have two Marvel shows. So the first one is Hellstrom. I watched it. Got one season. I don't know if it was ever renewed for a season 2. I think this was the last thing that was like contractually supposed to be made under Marvel Television Studios. But then again, this other show is too. I don't understand how that works. So Hellstrom is based off of a Marvel character that basically no one knows. I'm not really familiar with him. I think I've like heard the name mentioned once in a comic. I think he may have shown up once. I don't know. Like I don't really know who he is.
What corner of Marvel is he most closely connected to?
The like
even if he's
magic
several degrees
side.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, he's the son of the devil in Marvel.
Oh,
comics.
Okay. Is this the same devil that's Nightcrawler's dad?
I don't think so. Marvel has a few like devil-like characters. They're the main one that they use is Mephisto. But there are ones that maybe closer resemble the like religious ones that we know from Christianity, which I think is this one, but I don't know the character, so I could be completely wrong with all of that stuff. But it is a supernatural crime show. I don't know if I would really say it's crime show, but he is called in to do like exorcisms and stuff like that. But the whole show, there's like a mystery going on because he has powers, kind of, and his sister does too, but him and his sister don't really talk. They live on opposite sides of the country. Their mom is in insane asylum and is possessed, but they can usually exorcise these things, but for some reason his powers don't work on his mom. They seemingly got their powers from their father, who is maybe a demon. So it's one of those, like, it's a weird thing of like, what is going on exactly with their family? What's happening here? It was fine. I kind of lost the plot in the second half. I started to not pay attention as much. I'm sure the second half got better because it actually did start to answer some of that stuff, but I couldn't care. It was whatever.
Yeah.
So y'all can skip that one. It's whatever. However, this week, Melissa, I don't know if you checked this out. MODOK. Hulu released season 1 of MODOK, an animated series where MODOK is voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Yes, I knew this was happening. I didn't know this was out already. I missed that
completely
update.
forgot about it, and it was like, it's out this week, and I was like, this week, when is it out? Oh, it's out today. Okay.
I slept too long.
Yeah. Oh my God. Melissa, this show is fucking great. It is hilarious.
Good.
It is so good. It is 1 part robot chicken, 1 part venture burrows, 1 part modern family.
Wow.
And it is amazing. It's so good. So episode 1, the premise of that one, and which then kind of follows through the rest of the show. I've only seen the first 3. Season 1 has 10. So I have not seen it all yet. But episode 1, the premise is MODOK, who is the CEO of AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics. They've gone bankrupt, and they need funding. And so MODOK has to figure out how to get more funding. And there is a big tech company that wants to like step in and be like, hey, we like what you're doing here at AIM. We'll give you the funding you need. And then that just creates problems for AIM, because then MODOK won't be in charge and all of this stuff. And at home, he's getting a divorce from his wife. And it's just like, it's all of this stuff. And it's just like, it's bad things are happening all around, but it is fucking hilarious. It is so
nice.
Good. I love it.
Good to hear. I will have to check this one out.
Highly recommend it. Melissa, you especially would love it. So
I love a big head that flies around in a little robot chair.
Yeah. Well, that's him. That's MODOK for sure.
Classic MODOK. Who else can claim it?
Exactly. So yeah, I highly recommend you all go check out that show. I'm excited to jump back in and finish it, because yeah, all of season 1 is out. You can go binge it on Hulu. So check it out, indeed.
Good
That's
news.
What I've been
Good.
up to this week. That was my cinema corner, aka cinema is my bed. That's all.
Good
the
to hear
updates
about.
that I got. Yeah.
I have a very important question that I've been pondering for the past week, and maybe your earlier thoughts on pretzels may inform this. Out of a pig in a blanket, which part is better, pig or blanket?
I think I have to go with the pig. I think it wouldn't. It's not that I like it better. I just think the item itself wouldn't be that thing really without it. Like I feel like you could wrap a tiny little hot dog, a little tiny weenie in bacon, in more pig, and it's still somewhat of a pig in a blanket.
Pig in a
pig in a skin suit. I don't know. But like you could wrap it in something else. It doesn't need to be like in a croissant thing or in some kind of pastry. It can be something else, right? And it is still similar. It is still kind of that thing.
That's good,
right?
Yes, no, I understand what you're saying. I've been thinking about it in terms of if you were at a party where there's trays of hors d'oeuvres and you're offered, instead of pig and blanket, only pig or only blanket. And this is dry pig. This isn't like one of those, it's like a little smoky, but there's no sauce. It is a dry, it's just like a dry little sausage with like a toothpick, or it's just crescent roll. Yeah. So if you could choose only weenie or only crescent, which one are you going for? You're not allowed to put them together. They have to stay separate in this scenario.
See, that's what I would do, is be like, I'm going to take couple of these and a croissant
I'm
roll.
breaking down
Stuff them in.
barriers.
Yeah. To be honest, I think I would go for the meat first. I would go for the little thing, because that seems more like I don't think I've ever seen a party that just has like a tray of croissants out there, or like small things of like here's a little small like pastry that isn't supposed to be the like when you go to a party and they have pastries, you think of more like sweet stuff.
Yeah.
Right? You don't think of just like a plain dry croissant roll.
Yeah, typically it's served alongside a meal, but not alongside a potluck. Like, you make it to go along with one entree, not a variety of entrees. Nobody's ever shown up to a big family party with only crescent rolls.
Right? But if you go to a party and they have hors d'oeuvres or snacks, you are likely to see just those small weinies. Now, they might have dipping sauces, but like you said, in this instant, there is no dipping sauce. That just seems like it was, all right, some college kid was like, what do parties have? Little weenies. That's what we need. And then they just didn't think about getting sauces, right? So like I and there will be some people who just eat them off of the thing and don't dip them in stuff. So I feel like that is the thing that is like, that's more normal. Like let's do that.
Okay.
There you go.
Is this
mystery solved? Myth busted.
I've only asked you, and I've asked my roommate, and my roommate was like, I'm going full bread all the time, baby. Like just the right. So I've got like an answer on both sides now. I think I decided this is my icebreaker question as I enter the world of social interaction again.
But like that's the thing. I don't disagree with your roommate. A croissant roll is delicious.
Yeah,
they're so good. But it's just like I don't know if like mini croissant rolls would be my jam at a party.
I
don't know.
What are your favorite hors d'oeuvres?
Favorite hors d'oeuvres, favorite finger foods.
Hors d'oeuvres and appetizers. You could say a potato skin, which I don't think is usually classified as an hors d'oeuvre.
So appetizers, I would have to go with like cheese fries or something like that.
Love
or
a
like
fry.
Chips and salsa. Like I usually just keep it at that. Mozzarella sticks, I think, goes in there too. Is the like trifecta of the best appetizers there. But I think favorite hors d'oeuvres at a party, I don't know. I don't know if I'm an hors d'oeuvres guy.
See, I love small foods.
I mean, I like them, but I don't know if I have like a go-to one of like, we need this thing.
I love a little cucumber sandwich. I love a shrimp anything. Not a fan of olives. I'll take a caprese stick.
I think I would gravitate more towards the charcuterie. I'm just like, give me some like meats and cheeses and stuff like that. I can just like
shark stuff's always good.
Munch on, yeah. Or candy. I have a big sweet tooth, so like
candy hors d'oeuvres,
M&Ms or some Skittles or like just something that I can munch on.
Skittles as hors d'oeuvres. Man, that's
only the finest from my parties.
That's your Richie Rich best life. I'm hosting a gala. I'm serving Skittles.
We have original. We have tropical. We have sour. We have chocolate. We have it's all the flavors of Skittles that they have.
Yeah, what I've been eating this week has been Starburst. I think we might have talked about this on our candy draft.
Starburst are good.
Like I'm not as big into fruity candies. I'll get Twizzlers every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm all chocolate. I don't like Starburst enough to ever buy them for myself, but it's one of those things where if somebody offers me Starburst, I'm happy to take one. It's fun as like a rare treat. And my roommate bought a giant bag of Starburst for like one of her friends to eat when he comes over. And she's like, he's gone through them too fast. He ate like half of this bag. I have to slow him down. Like, you take some of the Starburst too. So I've just been eating Starburst this week, and they're amazing. They're so flavorful. They're so concentrated. I will eat 5 at a time, but I could only eat 1 at a time. It's that much. It's so potent.
Oh man. Yeah, I no, I don't think I would actually want like Skittles or Starburst as orders, but yeah, give me some like chocolates or like.
What if you put them on a toothpick? What if you were served an unwrapped Starburst on a toothpick?
Or like small cookies or brownies or stuff like that. I don't know. Like that's stuff that I like.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And like I think about chips too. Like if like I'm not that's the thing. Like I'm not someone who is like we have to have chips or we have to have a certain kind of chips. And even
this is
when
what I was
going to
ask you.
Them, it's usually stuff of just like, well, I don't really like. I'm not a huge fan of like the nacho Doritos. They're fine. I wish they were Cooler Ranch, but that's okay. But I also like I don't really need Cooler Ranch Doritos here. Like I don't know.
What is your ideal chip dip combo? Like, is it tortilla chip and salsa? Is it like classic Lay's potato chip and French onion dip? Is it a Dorito and hummus?
I like classic chip and salsa. However, I'm not a chunky salsa person because I don't like tomatoes. Style. I don't like onions. I don't like, like a lot of basically all of the stuff that is the ingredients for salsa. I don't actually like to eat it. I've gotten better about it, especially in terms of salsa. I used to be the like dip in and just get the juices of it and do that. But now I can scoop some stuff and get that. But I'm a queso guy, or like a buffalo
can't deny
chicken
queso.
dip.
Yeah, buffalo
chicken
dip
is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say, because I'm not necessarily like French onion kind of thing, but especially if the queso is like a jalapeno queso dip, that stuff is fire. That stuff is so good.
Yes.
So
I love a hot spinach artichoke dip, and I love a guac. Yeah. There's many great dips out in the world. I dig guac. Guac is hearty. It's light and fresh.
Yeah. What other dips? I can do like carrots and stuff in ranch. Not a big fan of celery, so I don't really go for that stuff. I'll stick with my carrots. I'm such a picky eater that I have my like, let me just stick to carrots and ranch. Let me just stick to chips and salsa, where I don't get much of the actual salsa.
Right. Those are like absolute child foods.
Yeah,
that's like what our
absolutely.
That's what our parents would give us on like New Year's Eve, when they knew in our heads we wanted like party snacks, but they're like, the kids are still going to bed at like 9:45. Like, we're not getting them real party snacks. We have chips and salsa kits, which we just happen to already have in the cupboard. Here, Happy New Year's Eve.
See, with me, we had candy and stuff, and we'd do stuff. We'd like bake a cake or make cookies or stuff like that. So we had sweets. My family was also a family that had our fridge in the garage. We had a whole second one that was just stocked with soda and beer and stuff like that. So we had like all the drinks we could want.
Yes.
And then for special occasions like Christmas or New Year's, we would always have the like sparkling apple cider, and that was always a favorite of mine. But I would always be the one that just ate up all of the sweets. Like my parent, like I never realized it back then, but I was the one that just ate them all. And my parents would go to bed, but I've always been a night owl, so I wouldn't be in bed at 9:45. Like we used to stay up to midnight together as a family, but as I got older, like they would go to bed. They would be the ones in bed at like 9:45, and then I'd be up till like 5:30 in the morning, just like playing video games or stuff like that, or still eating all of the snacks and stuff. So that's me. That's stuff I still do. So there you go. There you go. Melissa.
Yeah.
I think we should end it on this note.
I'm tired and I'm dreaming of snacks now. I want to go find snacks.
I would like to get some snacks, but we do have to mention that Attack the Block 2 is officially in development now. I know a couple weeks ago, I think there were rumors that like it was in talks of like, hey, this might come back. They officially announced it this past week that the same director as well as John Boyega are on. So I'm so excited for this because that movie
Jack the Box is very fun.
It was so good. I'm so happy that this is getting a sequel. Because yeah, it's a good movie indeed. We had the announcement of the Venture Brothers movie last week. We got Attack the Block 2 this week. Melissa, what movie do you want to have come back next week? Let's make it happen right here.
Oh my God. Oh boy.
You had to
come back. So not
back.
like I'm still waiting for news on like the Blade movie, the Fantastic Four movie, but no, you're talking about a sequel to a thing I already know and love. And now there's just suddenly going to be more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney finally made the sequel they planned for Treasure Planet. That'd be pretty great.
That'd be an awesome one. Treasure Planet.
Like they already had a direct-to-video sequel planned for Treasure Planet, as many Disney movies had at the time, but it did not perform well, and so they never did it. But I love Treasure Planet. That's the one movie poster I have. The one full-size movie poster I do have in my apartment is Treasure Planet.
See, that would be something I hang in my home theater because if you see that, you know, you've got taste. Treasure Planet is a good one. But it just didn't do well. But people know that it was a good one. It just performed terribly at the
I think people. Yeah, I don't think I know that it was not financially a good move by Disney,
right?
But
it's like that
they kind of get
Atlantis. It's like,
but like and people love it. Atlantis is definitely a cult hit, and I feel like when people do talk about Treasure Planet, it's generally positive.
Yeah. What would I like to have come back? I'm thinking. A good movie that needs a sequel or didn't get a sequel that should have. Oh man. Let's go with Big Hero 6.
I know there was like an animated TV show for Big Hero 6, but it certainly would deserve a chance to return to the big screen.
Big Hero, because it has that like cliffhanger ending kind of where you learn more about what's his name's parents.
Right.
It was Stan Lee was his dad, and he has that secret layer. It just seems like they were setting up something. And it just,
I don't know what became of that in the show. Huh.
Yeah, who knows? So I think that'd be fun. But with that, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. So, Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities, where me and my brother Jams talk about weird old kids shows you feel like only you remember.
Go. If you guys want to stay up to date with me, I'm at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter. If you guys want to stay up to date with all of the shows that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. So go like, share, subscribe. You guys know the deal with all of that. And we will be back next week. We will see you all then. Bye.
Bye.